How do you collaborate within teams or across geographies to create your dream app? Through documents, spreadsheets, or complex processes and tools? Get ready for something amazingly simple and smart to reduce your overhead of managing complex projects. ScrumTotal, the most intuitive agile tool you've ever tried. Start with sign-up process. This sample will demonstrate how a user can register on ScrumTotal when he visits the site for the first time. When you first visit the website, click on Sign Up to register. On the registration page, enter your name or organization's name, email address, password, and then retype your password. Accept the terms of service and privacy policy. Click on Sign Up and you're all set to go. This sample will demonstrate on how you easily create a new project in Teams and assign roles to team members. The moment you have registered yourself on the website, the guided tour will take you through the introductory slides where you can see how easy it is to create projects, teams, and start a sprint. Click on Next. Here you get the option to either directly go to the admin dashboard where you can add users, assign, and manage licenses, view and edit organizational information, or you can click Get Started to begin creating teams and projects. Click on the admin dashboard to add users. ScrumTotal allows you to easily manage your users from the user management. You'll see the list of users added and their details like status, full name, email address, role, license type, license expiration date, and the options to edit user information and delete any user from the list. Click on the Import button. This will open up the instructions page with the instructions to import users in the given format. Click on the Next button to select the CSV file either from your computer or from Dropbox, and then click Start Import. The users list gets populated in the users window once the users are successfully imported. ScrumTotal allows you to change the super admin, which is denoted by an asterisk. The super admin is the user of this organization whose email is aligned with the organization. When all the licenses have expired, then the super admin comes into its role as it is the only one who has the rights to purchase or renew the licenses for the other users. This role can be assigned to any other admin by using the Change Super Admin option. Click the Change Super Admin button, select the desired user's name from the drop-down list of admin users, and click on the Make Super Admin button. Then click Yes to confirm. ScrumTotal allows assigning and managing licenses to users using license management. You can view both of the current licenses being assigned and the expired licenses along with information like license code, user licenses, activation date, expiration date, status, purchased by, and purchased on date. To purchase licenses, click on the Purchase button. Here you'll need to indicate the number of licenses and the number of months as required for your organization. To check out, click on the PayPal button. This will take you to the payment gateway where you can complete your purchase of licenses. To assign licenses, click on the plus sign next to User Licenses. Then select the username and click on Assign License button. You're done. Click on the Close button. To remove licenses, click on the red-colored Recycle Bin button next to the assigned user. Click Yes to confirm removal of the license. The licenses that are expired can be seen in Expired Licenses section. The Recycle Bin menu shows the history of users, user stories, and work items being deleted. The System Logs menu shows the logs being tracked for each and every user, project team, sprint user story, and work item. Once you are done with the admin dashboard, click on Projects in the left navigation bar to get started with projects. Click the plus New button. Here, entering the project name, say Project 1, and a short project description that shortly describes your project. For example, this is a sample project. Click the Save button to save your project information. Next, on the Add Team page, provide a team name. You can use existing team names that have already been created for earlier projects. This will help you save time from recreating teams over and over again. To select from existing teams, check the box next to or use existing team and choose team names from the list and click the Next button. If you don't see team members here, you need to buy licenses or assign purchased licenses to the team members. It will prompt you to add team members to your newly created team. You can select from the drop-down list to add from the existing list of users, and then click the Add button. In case you use an existing team name, you'll see team members' names already there. After adding the user, assign a role to each of the users. Here, you also have the option to delete any user that you may want to remove from the team. To do this, click the bin icon next to the username. Next, click the Proceed button. This sample will demonstrate how you can easily create new user stories, assign existing user stories, or importing user stories. To create a new user story, click Add User Story and select New User Story. In the New User Story page, give a title to your user story, say Sample User Story 1. Next, provide a description for your user story, or acceptance criteria in the next box. You can assign weightage to your user story by clicking on the plus or minus sign. Click the Create button to create the new user story. Now you can create tasks, bugs, and impediments within the newly created user story. Click on the up arrow on any one of the user stories that you have created. This will expand to show you the details of that user story, such as the number of tasks, bugs, and impediments within that user story. Here, you will have the option to change the status of the user story by selecting Ready or Done. Click on Task to assign a task to your team member. In the Task page, type in the title task as Task 1 and a short description describing the task in the description box. Allot the estimated hours and assign it to one of your team members by selecting his or her name from the drop-down list. Next, click the Create button. Similarly, you can create bugs and impediments. This sample will demonstrate how you can edit, import, remove, copy, and delete user stories. If you wish to edit any of the user stories, then click on Edit User Story button. Make your changes and click on the Save button. ScrumTotal allows importing user stories either by selecting a file from your computer or from Dropbox. To do this, click on Import User Stories to import the list of user stories in the given CSV format. Read through the instructions and click Next. For demo purposes, the CSV formatted file has already been created. Select the file and click on Start Import button. After the user stories get added successfully, click the Close button. To remove any user story, click on the Remove User Story button. Once you click on the Remove User Story button, a message prompts up asking, "Are you sure to mark this story as unassigned?" Click on Yes to confirm removal. This will move the user story to User Stories Without Home section area. User stories located in the User Stories Without Home area are those which were previously created and are in unassigned states. ScrumTotal helps in saving time to recreate new user stories each time by allowing you to pick from the existing user stories which have been already created earlier. For reassigning a previously created user stories from the repository, i.e. User Stories Without Home, click on Existing User Stories. This contains the list of unassigned user stories. Select your preferred user story from here and click Assign to your active list of user stories. ScrumTotal allows you to copy the content of existing user stories and modify it with little changes in order to create a new one. This prevents you from writing the similar user stories every time you create a new one and helps you save time. To copy a previously created user story, click on the icon Copy User Story. Make the required changes and click Create to save your changes. To delete any user story, expand the user story, click on the Delete button and click OK. The next sample will demonstrate how you can easily create a sprint. Sprint is a term used in the Scrum framework to describe the basic unit development time. In most cases, the duration of a sprint ranges from 1 week to 1 month in length. A project release is usually made up of several or many sprints. Note that a sprint can only be started by a Scrum Master or product owner. A developer does not have the right to start a sprint. To add user stories to the sprint, you can simply hold the blue colored bars of the user story and drag it towards the left in the sprint area, or you can click on Move to Sprint button to move user stories in a sprint. To start a sprint, click on the green arrow-headed button Start Sprint. Next, give a name to your sprint and choose the start date and end date. Notice that you cannot select the start date and end date to be on the same day. Therefore, end dates should be greater than the start date. Now click on the Start button to start the sprint. The sprint gets started immediately. The first section in the sprint is the sprint name, sprint duration, and days remaining to complete the sprint. The next thing you'll see is the total number of story points added in the sprint and the red button to stop the sprint. In the next section, you'll find the list of all the user stories that are not yet assigned in the sprints. You can simply drag the user stories from here to the sprint. In the last section, you'll find the burn down chart and velocity chart. The burn down chart shows the track record of the sprint duration. The beginning of the sprint is on the left and the end of the sprint is on the right. The velocity chart shows the number of story points closed against the number of story points committed. To log hours for any task, bug, or impediment, open the particular task, bug, or impediment from the user story and click on Log Hours button. Note, you can only log hours if the sprint is in started state. In the Log Hours window, enter the hours for the respective task, bug, or impediment and click on the Submit button. Another way to log hours is by clicking on Timesheet from the left bar and filling the hours for all the assigned tasks, including bugs and impediments. To close any user story, make sure that all its related tasks, bugs, or impediments are closed. If any of the items is not closed, then your action for closing the user story will be canceled. Once you have closed all the items, i.e. tasks, bugs, or impediments, then click on Mark as Complete on the user story. It prompts a message asking, "Are you sure to mark this user story as complete?" Click Yes to confirm. The moment you mark the user story as complete, it gets struck from the list of user stories in the sprint. Note that if there is any unused user story, it is moved to the Team Product Backlog section so that it can be utilized for other sprints, while the marked as complete user stories go to the Closed User Stories section. Click on Closed User Stories tab that contains the list of all the user stories that have been closed. To open any of these previously closed user stories, click on the Reopen button. The moment you reopen a user story, it gets allocated to the current sprint that is in running state. ScrumTotal provides a one-stop place to view all the closed stories, bugs, impediments, and logged hours in a particular sprint. Note that reports show information of only current running sprints and not of closed sprints. ScrumTotal allows users or admins to change passwords. To do this, go to the user profile, type the current password, new password, and then retype the new password. Click the Save button. With this, we come to an end of our demo. However, for any queries, users can call, email, or send us a message from the Contact Us link present at the bottom of the dashboard page. ScrumTotal, the best way to manage your multiple teams and multiple projects. Now you can perform Scrum on your mobile devices, tablets, Android and iPhone to make smarter decisions. Then what are you waiting for? Sign up and get started with ScrumTotal today. Just a few minutes.